Hello everyone and welcome to this audio podcast. This audio podcast is part of a Serology and Squil. This audio podcast is part of a Hustle and Serotype. This audio podcast as part of a Defcon premiere, and this audio podcast is part of a Storm Robotics production. So continuing on and looking at and through transplant immunobiology and idiosyncrasy. So research has also been evidence wherein expression of chemokine receptor CXCR3 and its ligand and one of its ligands IP10 during human allograft rejection during human cardiac allograft rejection and initially investigators in some works looked to understand wherein 169 human endomyocardial biopsies biopsies were investigated using immunocytochemistry investigations for infiltration and looking for infiltration by CD3 positive T cells and the representation of receptors CCR1, CCR3, CCR5, and CXCR3. The analysis informed an association with CD3 positive T with an association with CD3 positive T cell infiltrates wherein this correlated with histopathological diagnosis aligned to or linked to acute evidence of acute allograft rejection or AAR. The chemokines eotaxin, IP10, and lymphotactin, MCP1, MIG, and RANTES and SDF1 were also analyzed in additional biopsies by real-time polymerase chain reactions investigations or real-time PCR. Eotaxin, IP10, lymphotactin, MCP1, MIG, and SDF1 were identified or found in both normal and rejecting biopsies. And although the CXCR3 ligand IP10, which has been rarely represented in natural biopsies, was markedly included in biopsies of AAR, investigators had concluded in works that the presence of CXCR3 positive T cells and the CXCR3 ligand IP10 within endomyocardial biopsies is associated with AAR episodes. That draws this audio podcast to a close. This audio podcast is part of the Serology and Squil. This audio podcast is part of a Hustle and Serotype. This audio podcast as part of a Defcon premiere, and this audio podcast as part of a Storm Robotics production.